Ah yes, the sweet sound of ambient music in the style of eternal depth. You know, those two words, eternal depth, have become buzzwords in my community. Have you heard the new Eternal Depth track? I want to make tracks like Eternal Depth. So much though that we've even coined it its own genre. But you guys know me, right? Like, I'm not one for genres because really it's all ambient to me, right? But the thing is like, you know, making tracks like this is a skill. And until you possess the capability to internally embody the feeling of these kind of tracks, it's going to be really difficult for you to get to this level. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I created this track so you guys can, you know, hopefully start to embody this state that I'm talking about and then be able to create tracks on your own, right? Because that's really the goal here. We want to be able to create the tracks of our dreams and live out our musical fantasies and, you know, make hundreds of thousands of fans with ambient. Said no one ever, but that's really how it goes. Anyway, that aside, thanks for being here, and let's go ahead and check this out. So as you can see, I've got a track started here, right? This is an Eternal Depth style track. And we're gonna recreate this from scratch. And I purposely didn't go fully crazy with this. I just wanted to, you know, provide a good backdrop, a good foundation here. So it starts with a good sample, right? And this comes from the free to use sounds library. I'm going to link that down below, of course. And this is some forest birds somewhere in China. But what I've got here, and I'll get out of the way so you guys can see this, is I have an envelope follower here. And this envelope follower is actually adjusting the gain of this utility in real time. So when those birds start chirping, this gain utility goes inverted and lowers the gain, which is a really effective technique if you got really yappy birds that you don't want, you know, messing up your recording, especially when you're trying to lock into a deep ambient track like this, right? And then I've got an EQ here, which is really limited. I've got a, you know, shelf here on the top, big low cut. So we're just focused on that one section of birds there. And then of course an instance of the Pro R2. I'm going to be using this preset a lot. This is from the new Remote Vision Pack Liquid Space on material. So anyway, that's the first sample. The second sample comes from the Luftrum Free Field Recordings library. And I've got an instance of cluster delay here. But if you look really closely at the clusters, they're moving. And that's coming from the LFO over here. Of course, providing some 0.03 hertz modulation to the spacing of this. Love that technique. I mean, this is really the art of ambient, guys. If you want to enter the ambient dojo, you got to learn the ways here. That's why you're here. And then I have a sample from the Patreon collection that was just released. I was talking about on the channel the other day. And a beautiful sample from the Isle of Skye in Scotland. So we're going to use that. Let's loop that. Very nice. Providing some, you know, subtle water there. So it's the combination of the three samples, and that's what really makes, you know, good, effective, you know, backdrop, if you will. Because the high end is just as important as the low end. And if you forget either one, then the whole effect kind of gets ruined. So I really want to emphasize that. It's like not just one sample, it's like the multitude of samples and then how you're processing those samples, as you guys can see, right? So I've got a deep bass here. We're just going to recreate this deep bass very quickly. I'm using Pigments here, of course. It's got some nice width modulation here on oscillator 3 using the analog engine. We're going to talk about that. And then I've got a preset here from my upcoming pack, Chromatic 5. This is a preset called Temple of the Sun, so you guys are getting an inside look at this. And we're going to be using that. That's kind of the major chord that's blanketing the entire thing. Really, really nice stuff. And then, you know, for those of you who are fans of free software, I'm using Vital here with that really high sine wavy pluck. right? But there's a trick to this. I'm gonna show you what that trick is. So if you're low on cash and you're just using free synthesizers, no problem. But speaking of not free synthesizers, the last sound in this is the kalimba here, coming from Omnisphere. But that's like the icing on the cake, you know? When it really gets good, that's when you break out the good stuff. You can hear that beautiful, beautiful pluck that I recorded by hand here. So that'll be how we finish off. But anyway, like I said, it really is about embodying the state, right? Embodying this state of ambient inside of you, calm, right? The emotions that you're bringing up to the surface through creating music like this. That's what you need to possess. So we're going to talk about that too while we create this track from scratch. But anyway, like I said, thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and dive straight into it. This video is brought to you by the Signs of Life Patreon. Discover tutorials for all skill levels, as well as full track walkthroughs and track breakdowns, over 100 preset and sample packs, and the Signs Circle Group for track feedback and support. And I also offer personalized one-on-one ambient coaching. Well, what are you waiting for? Sign up today and join us. The link is down below in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, first things first, I'm using Ableton Live here, but feel free to follow along in any other DAW of your choice. And I'll be playing in 79 beats per minute today, and we'll be playing in F major. Now, like I said, we're going to start with the sample itself, all right? And then we're gonna talk about how to embody the internal state. Now, this first sample comes from the Free to Use Sounds library. Of course, the link is down below in the description. And let's go ahead and grab that sample here. It's under Process Samples. And you can hear that this sample is really noisy and those birds are very loud, all right? And they're like yapping and doing their thing. But that's the kind of content that we want, because if you listen to Eternal Depth style tracks, they have this really cool way where the natural sounds are kind of intermixed with the ambience itself to kind of provide that sense of environment, which I always talk about in my videos. So let's go ahead and let's go find the EQ here. And we're just gonna do some rough EQing here, all right? And this is really, to taste, of course. So I'll just take a nice, high pass, low cut filter here. Nothing crazy, right? And then I can take a shelf on this side and just kind of bring those highs down as well. So I'm really trying to focus only on where the energy is in this sample. And that's right there around 3000 hertz, okay? Again, this is from the China collection. Now, those birds are really loud and they provide some like sharp dynamics. So the cool trick is, in Ableton Live, I can do this with an envelope follower. Your DAW may have an envelope follower. If it doesn't, no worries. You can always do this manually. So I'm gonna grab the envelope follower. And the trick here, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the way. The trick here is to put a utility after the envelope follower. So I'll put a utility after the envelope follower. Now again, this could be your tool in Bitwig if you're using Bitwig. And what I'll do is I'll invert the modulation here. You can hear that 6 sound right there. And then I'm going to lower the gain down, okay? I'm gonna map this to the knob here and then find exactly where that, sample kind of repeats. So I'll go ahead and loop this sample. Let's go ahead and loop it. There we go. And you can hear that when I play this, and we go back to the envelope follower, you want to bring the level of the utility down so it's kind of at 0 again. And then because this is, in negative polarity here, I'm inverting the modulation. So when those birds really start, yapping, then the volume goes down. That's exactly what we want, all right? You could lower the rate of the decay here. I like to keep the rise pretty sharp because those birds, they yap pretty fast. But that's good. I like that because now we have a nice, volume control here. Again, your mileage may vary here if you want to just do this manually. If you don't even have an envelope follower, you could double click the clip And because I've looped this, you can go in here and, do some clip envelopes here. This is an Ableton Live thing. Or, in your DAW, you could just, manually draw in points, of volume automation where those birds are doing their thing. But either way, that's a good start, right? I like that. All right, so now I'm going to grab my reverb. Now, again, you could use Supermassive here. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Let's use the Pro R2. I'll grab the Pro R2. And the preset that I wanted to use was from upcoming Liquid Space Movement 9. Oh, yeah. So now we're really, we're really tripping it out. You can hear why I took all the noise out of the sample because, the Pro R2 kind of provides everything you need to really get down to the heart of it, Clean up that sample there. That's good. All right, so that's sample number 1. Okay, that's sample number 1. Now let's use another sample. And the second sample that I'm going to use, I can go ahead and lower the volume of this. The second sample that I'm going to use is going to come from the Luftdrum Free Field Recordings Library, a classic, right? We've used this for years. So Walking in Granite here, all right? Walking in Granite. Let's go ahead and play this, see what it sounds like. Now again, another noisy sample. You can hear that, like it's very, very noisy, right? So again, you could use the, the same EQ trick here. We'll grab another EQ. Again, this could be a stock EQ. I'll take the bass out of this. Okay. I like that. So it's nice and crunchy, right? And I'll go ahead and grab a delay here. And the delay that I'm going to use is the cluster delay. Okay. Cluster delay. And I'll grab a preset, and that preset is from Ambient Spaces called Moonlight. And what I'll do is I'll use an LFO. So I'll get out of the way again. I'll grab the LFO that's in the audio effects here. I'll grab the LFO and I'll put it after the cluster delay. The exposing of the cluster delay is already preset for me, so I'm all good there. So I can just grab it and we'll just use the remote here and map it to the spacing, okay? And then we'll lower the rate down very slow. I think I said 0.03 around there. Oh yeah, so now you can see the cluster delay is moving. Very nice. And that's already on diffusion mode, so it already kind of sounds like a reverb. If you want even more reverb, you can copy. I'll right click and I'll copy this and I'll paste it after this. And now we've got movement 9 after. This could be Supermassive for you. And I'll lower the volume there. And now you can hear we have the birds plus the Walking in Granite with the cluster delay. See, now we're getting somewhere. Now it's like, yeah, wow. It sounds like something, right? The last and final sample that I'm going to use is water. So we've kind of got all the elements here. We've got the air with the birds, the earth with the granite. Now we're going to use some water here, all right? Let's go ahead and grab it. This was the water sample came from Patreon, okay? This was the collection that I just released recently. And let's go ahead and grab this. It's under the North Sea, and it's the kelp forest from Scotland, all right? And we'll use the same techniques here. Same techniques, okay? Beautiful sample. Oh yeah, so nice. So now we're really getting into it. I could probably use the same EQ and reverb from the Granite sample, so I'll just do that. Just pop it on here real quick. Grab the same reverb. Oh yeah. And there we go. Very nice, very nice. So we've got 3 different samples. And you can see on a span, if I grab a span here, you can see on the span, like, that's pretty much covering all the high end that we need. We're not overdoing it. The levels are not like wild and crazy, but that's a good start. Okay? Yeah. Fun with samples here on Signs of Life. All right, so let's go ahead and create the bass, and then we're going to get into the eternal state. I promise we're going to make some music here. So let's go ahead and grab a bass here. I'm going to grab Pigments, and I'll use Pigments for this because it's a really good, simple synthesizer. Most people understand this. So I'll use a sawtooth waveform here. The second engine will be put into analog mode, and I'll use a square wave here. And the cool thing about the square wave is it's a pulse wave and you can modulate the width, okay? So that's something that we can target with our modulation. So let's go ahead and lower down the cutoff here to around 180 hertz, somewhere around there. We'll add some voices of unison, maybe 4 voices of unison, and we're gonna lower the stereo width down so we don't get any phasing in our bass. We don't want that, all right? And I'll make 2 LFOs. The 2 LFOs that I'm gonna use are going to be straight only, so I'll just put it to straight only. I'm gonna make sure they're free running, okay? And the first LFO will be set to 4/1, and the second LFO will be set to 2/1, okay? So they're moving at half the rate of each other, if you will. I'll grab LFO1 and pull it over to the cutoff. Okay, I'll make sure it's in unipolar here by clicking the polarity button. And I'll grab LFO2 and put it on the width, all right? Like I said, we're targeting the width here for some little extra motion, especially with unison. That width target goes a long way, okay? And now I'm just gonna draw a straight line here and do like an 8-bar clip. And the actual note that I want is here. And it's probably gonna be here, okay? That's an F1. But in order to make it sound right, I'm gonna lower the octave down, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. In Pigments, we'll lower the level of the oscillator by 12 semitones on the analog engine as well as the wavetable engine, and we will play the clip. See what this sounds like. So we'll find F1 again and plug in that note. There we go. Bingo. You can add a touch of reverb to this if you want. Okay. Oh yeah. So again, we're really going for that deep, low bass note here, okay? It's just a low drone. If you want, you could use a multi-band compressor here for a little extra volume and body out of this, okay? But you can hear the bass with the other, samples that we did. This is why I put so much work into those samples. You can see on the span, oh yeah. Like, I often talk about this. I'm using the frequency spectrum like a canvas. So I'm painting on the canvas. The low end is, those deeper colors, and then you get up to the high end and it gets up to like the purples and the blues and the whites, like, like upper chakra stuff. Like it's really deep. It's not basic. Anyway, so while we look at this span here, I want to talk about how to embody the internal state. This is often overlooked. I often talk about this. Like how do you actually translate what's inside outside? How do you embody the emotional state of what this feeling is? Because when you listen to it, you get that like, oh yeah. When you listen to his tracks or another track that's in the same genre, style, if you will, how do you embody that state? Well, I've got some tips for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first tip I have for you is enter stillness before you enter the session, okay? Don't begin by chasing ideas. This is the wrong approach. Begin by lowering the internal noise floor. Sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes. Breathe slowly and let your nervous system settle until you can feel spaciousness in your body, right? So you're trying to enter a calm state so you can feel that space inside of you rather than approaching it with a dense emotional state, which would create dense music. You want to open that space up. Ambient music, like Eternal Depth, is rarely made from a rushed mind. It usually comes from a softened, widened state where time starts to feel less mechanical. That's another thing that you hear a lot of, especially in the music that I make, Ascendant, Starterra, Science of Life. People are like, oh wow, your music, like I just get lost in it. It's so timeless. I lose track of time. Where does that come from? Does it come from the outer, or is it reflected on the inner that's moved outwards? You see? Very important distinction, okay? So try to do that, even if it's like, 5 minutes. Slow breathing. The nervous system is our operating system as human beings. So why would you want that operating system full of bugs and out of whack and out of balance? It doesn't make any sense, right? So anyway, all right, let's get back to the tutorial here. So we've got this nice deep bass. We got a nice span, nice response here. Let's go ahead and make sure this one is warped and looped. By the way, this sample, the kelp forest, the Isle of Skye in Scotland, is on my Patreon right now. It's a pack called the North Sea. Of course, the link to the Patreon is down below. Yeah, very nice. All right, so let's rename all these. Let's get this done here. This is the forest, the granite, and the kelp forest. Okay. Yes. Earth, wind, and water. Very nice. And this is our deep bass. Okay, so let's grab that preset. Again, this is from Chromatic 5, which is coming out on April 23rd. So depending on when you're seeing this, Chromatic 5 will be out. If it's not, that's all you have to wait. If it is, I'll leave the link down below in the description. No worries. All right, let's go ahead and grab this Chromatic 5, and we'll go ahead. It's called Temple of the Sun here. And what I'll do is I will turn off Effects B because I'm going to use my own delay and reverb. I'm also going to lower the level of filter 1 down a little bit, okay? Because I really want to get that vibe here. Now, because we've only used a single drone on our bass, you could go any direction. You could start here and then go in a minor key, or you could go in a major key. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we're gonna start and go in a major key direction, but it's really up to you. Like, you don't have to, doesn't have to be something that, you have to think about too hard. Like, just do it, right? All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and create the notes. Now, the notes I'm gonna use are down here on the keyboard, and I'll start out by just playing a simple F here, okay? And maybe I'll lower that F over here. And maybe I'll use these 3 notes right here. Okay? So a lot of the times you're listening for like the overtones. What's the overtones of the music? Where are those coming from? So I'll go ahead and I'll hold these down. Let's just go ahead and spam those across the timeline here. Move back to the beginning. We'll spam that one. And then let's use one more. Another E note here. Or, sorry, F. Alright. And let's put it through the pad bus. Now let's go ahead and play this. You're going to instantly feel that sense of calm there. Of course. But like I said, I'm going to use my own reverb. And that reverb, again, will be coming from this Pro R2 preset right here. Okay? Big, long decay here. Let's go ahead and grab it. Copy. Paste. Alright? Now, one thing you might want to do on this preset here is lower the stereo width down. Okay? Because you don't want phasing on the low end. What is phasing? Phasing is when waveforms start canceling each other out and it becomes more noticeable on the low end. That's another video for another time, but for those of you who are following me on Patreon, you know that I talk about this a lot. Okay? So now, we've got this beautiful pad in there, and it's just making a simple drone. But notice, because I lowered the stereo width, we're not phasing here on the correlation meter. We're staying above, we're in the safe zone, between 0.50 and 1 on the high side. It's good. I like that. But like, now you're starting to get the vibe. Now it's like, oh yes, wow, finally a pad, but I talked about this in a recent short. Like, does it sound wide to you? Does this music sound spacious to you? does to me. Am I using any stereo wideners? Am I using any like crazy like, you know, tricks outside of what you see here? No, I'm not. I'm just using, you know, stereo reverb effects, but control of that stereo width is important, number one. Number two, using the entire frequency spectrum. That's what creates true depth and width. Just want to make that clear, all right? So let's now talk about the second thing, okay? The second way you can embody this state. Use walking as a tempo reset. You know, the tempo of our body comes from the heart, right? A slow walk outside, especially with no phone, can do something a DAW cannot. Okay? Before I even got on this video to start making it, I went on a 2-mile run. I sat in silence for 5 to 10 minutes, and I drank some coffee, as you guys can tell. But that's just how I do it. You know, it might not be how you do it. You might have your own practice. Okay? It recalibrates your sense of pacing. Watch light, wind, distance, shadow, repetition, and the way the world moves without forcing anything. That's the other thing. Is like, you know, when you guys see me effortlessly make this music, like I'm not trying to force it. You know, with the demo track that we started the video with, I'm not trying to force anything. It's just like, let it happen. I talk about this a lot. When you come back, don't try to write a track. Don't try to write a track. Just try to translate the pace of that walk or that, you know, hike or whatever you took into sound. Longer decays, more restraint, fewer decisions, and more breath. This is why people come to me, because they're wondering, how can I make music like Chris, make music in this particular style? But it's more than that. It's like, how can I embody this state, this feeling? That's where they're moving. And so they come to me, they take, you know, my mentorship program, my coaching calls, like whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just trying to give them, just like I'm trying to give you right now, that sense that anything is possible, but you have to do the inner work first. There's no outer without the inner. Okay? Just want to make that clear. All right. So try that. First advice is sit in silence. Second one, go take a walk. Go exercise. You know? Tune your body before you tune the music. All right, so we've got a nice start here. I like this, okay? Let's rename this track. This is our Temple of the Sun. Chromatic 5, coming soon. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to grab Vital here and just use a simple sine wave. Because I think a lot of people are like, you know, I maybe have pigments, but usually I just use Vital or I use, you know, whatever you got, okay? Now, some of you may know when you make a kick drum from scratch, you use a second envelope to modulate the pitch. And instead of a sine wave just being a simple doo, it can be something like a flick, like how, you know, kind of a, when you snap your fingers, there's a pre-snap before the snap. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't, but maybe you do. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just lower the sustain down, make my decay however long I want, and I'll take a second. This LFO here is going to be our, you know, kind of pitch snap, all right? And the speed here is important, okay? So we'll figure out what we want that speed to be, okay? And it's going to be like a nice sharp ramp. I'll grab that and put it onto the pitch, the coarse pitch. That's important, all right? So when this happens, when I just kind of play a key here, you're gonna hear that pitch start to snap. Check this out. Let's go ahead and make sure we're into the right track here. Hear that? So it's almost like a really high kick drum, right? So like I said, the speed is important because we don't want it to be too, we don't want to hear that pitch. We just want it to be a nice snap, okay? And also the modulation amount is important too. Yeah. There we go. So I'm at 1/32 on my envelope here. Notice I put it into envelope mode, 1/32, okay? But now if I copy the reverb and paste the reverb after this, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Adjusting the reverb is important, but we'll get to that later. Now, maybe 64 would be the right call here. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. So it's just like a little bit more, a little bit extra. You could even use like a noise in there, in the noise oscillator. Maybe we're using Serum or something. You know? I like that. I like that. Maybe putting a multi-band compressor on Vital might be helpful as well. So we'll do that. We'll just put a multi-band here. Attack really, really sharp. Oh yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's record some notes here. Yeah. Nice, 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 nice. Let's hit the recall button here. See if we captured that. Oh, we sure did. There we go. I'll crop that clip. Now, it's important to leave some space here. And your you know, mileage may vary here, but you can see that like I'm leaving a big gap here. Because we want the timing to kind of be a little off. Meaning that like things can happen and they can be almost random in a way. So notice that nothing is playing right now because I lengthened the clip with just empty space. Again, going back to the two things that I told you to do. Relax, breathe, meditate, go on a walk, go on a run, do the things necessary to get yourself in the right mental state before the music can happen, all right? I like it. I like it. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. I mean, as soon as this music hits, you just like, yeah, you know, that's the vibe. That's what we're going for here on Signs of Life. All right, cool. So you can see our span looking good, looking good. Now, point number 3, journal the feeling and not the technique. So writing things down is sometimes a way to program your subconscious mind so you can get into the right state. Before the session, write for a few minutes about what you want to feel or transmit, okay? Not, I want a pad with shimmer, but more like, I want the sensation of being suspended inside of memory. How much more powerful is that? You know, because we often think about, oh, I need the right pad, I need the right reverb, I need the right this, but what about, I need the right feeling, I need the right memory, suspended memory. It's so potent. Or I want to feel this grief and turn it into acceptance. I don't know what your life has been like. You don't know what my life has been like, but we can meet somewhere in the middle, and that middle is right here in music, in sound, in vibration. That gives your music an emotional gravity. Ambient falls flat when it's only texture. It becomes profound when that texture is carrying an inner condition. Ooh. Oh. So good. So good. What's your inner condition? You know, where are you coming at this from? That's the question. Because, you know, like, it doesn't take much to embody this state. It really doesn't. Because if you already have those emotionally charged feelings, you turn them into emotionally charged thoughts. And that transmutation that happens in between your heart and your mind, that's when you can begin channeling all these feelings into the DAW, into the synths, into the programming. And by programming, I mean creating sounds, arranging things. You don't have to be a master at sound design just to make good music. You can use presets. That's how I started. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hyperbolic. It can just be simple. And not only that, it could be a process. Not anyone else's process, but your process. That's what you want to focus on. What am I doing here? How is this translating? And what feelings am I bringing into the music itself? That's what it's all about. Hope I'm making sense. Let's rename this sine wave. All right, like I said, when you want to have a good time, you break out the good stuff. And that good stuff is Omnisphere 3. I've spent a lot of time with this synth now, and last night I was just like in so much joy. Just going through the sounds, rating all my sounds, you know, like just so I can make more videos for you guys, so I can make more music for you guys, so I can do all these things, because I'm just like, I love this synthesizer. It's very special. It's always been special. Just got better with version 3. All right, so let's go ahead and just adjust a simple envelope here. Now, the important thing about this is when we record, you want to make sure this is an Ableton thing, that you have no quantization on, okay? Because when you record natural sounds, there's often a distance between the notes. You don't want them shoved either way, like forward or backward. You don't want them quantized. You want them unquantized. That's how you get that natural feel, like somebody's actually hitting a stick in the forest, you know? Or actually hitting a kalimba in our case. So we'll switch it to sample oscillator here. I'm gonna click on the empty slot here. We'll go to all Spectrasonics, and we'll sort by ratings. And let's go find that coffee can kalimba. Let's find the good one here. That's the coin one. That's the felt one. Hammer, pick, and pluck. I think I'm gonna go coin. Yeah. Now notice that there's a velocity curve here, okay? Velocity is very important. So you can see there's 4 different velocity. There's a whole section devoted to velocity. And velocity is, how is this responding to the hits that I make? So you can see here, I'm just plunking down the keys, right? But the lighter I go on my Hydrosynth, the lighter it goes. And the louder I hit, the louder it goes. So you can adjust this velocity sensitivity here on this page. If you see the velocity here, I can make it like a ramp, right? So I've got to hit it harder to go harder, right? I can make it inverted. So I've got to hit, you know, pretty easily before it goes, you know, really hard, or I can just make it flat. And then you can adjust the sensitivity of that and the filter envelopes here, all kinds of stuff. Most synths have this, but Omnisphere is pretty nuanced in that sense, all right? So let's go ahead and grab the reverb here, and I'll paste it right after that. You can see I just pasted my reverb here. So let me go ahead and play that little kind of fading hit here, all right? And I'll just go ahead and just do a session record. I'll stay out of the way. Take the second 2 and I'll space them out, all right? So let's go ahead and move this one over here and this one over here, and then we'll add a little length here and press play. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So you can see like there's a little bit of, there's some gaps there, and the clip itself is 14 bars. What is that? Who cares? It doesn't matter, because it's gonna loop and then it's gonna be at a different time every time. You know, you start to work with odd numbers, odd time signatures. That's where you get into the ambient territory, right? Add a little delay to that. Oh, so good. All right. Let's go look at this band one more time. And I'll read the fourth one, okay? Bring real emotion to the surface on purpose. This is the deepest one, okay? Call up a memory, longing, ache, awe, wonder, or a sense of vastness that genuinely moves you. The emotional inner state does not have to be painful. It does not have to be sorrow, although those are sometimes the most potent. Sometimes it's wonder, sometimes it's awe, sometimes it's happiness, inspiration. These are all the types of feelings that you can embody to bring those to the surface, to channel those into the music you're making. Sit with it until it becomes physical, okay? A weight in the chest, a lift in the heart, a quiet ache behind your eyes. Then create from that state immediately. The goal is not to think about emotion. The goal is to let the body hold it so the sound comes out already charged. Be honest with me. How often have you thought about this? Are you really thinking about this before you start to make music? Because if you are, kudos. I bet your music is already out there and it's doing quite well. But if not, and you're just starting out on your journey, I encourage you to consider trying these practices before you approach something like ambient music. Because if you do, you're gonna find that the music that you make, whether it's you deem it as good or not so good, or you could do better, or this is the best thing you've ever made, it's gonna have more of a sentimental quality to it, to you, and you're gonna have more of an emotional connection to it, and therefore it's gonna have meaning. And believe me when I say this, as human beings, when there's meaning behind music, we all can feel it. We don't have to speak the same language. We don't have to live in the same location. We all feel the same thing because inherently we are all the same. We're one. So why would there be any difference between me and you or anybody else who's watching this channel? We're all the same, right? And we're all trying to do the same thing, which is get back to where we started. Another topic, but you guys get the idea, right? This is really important stuff. This is not just a joke. This is not just something we're doing. This is something we're living. This is something we're embodying. This is a feeling, an emotion that we're sharing with each other, and we move on to the future, just like that. From here, I might add a couple more details here, fill out the rest of this track. But I think I'm gonna stick a pin in this one because I feel like if you can get here, even if you have a kalimba sound or not, you could probably, find one, contact or something. Or you can check it out. If you're in the US, I'll leave the link to Omnisphere down below. But I think the thoughts that I've given you today and the ideas that I've given you today are enough to give you a good head start on where I believe that you could go. Like I said, this is not just some passing thing. If you really live and embody ambient music like I do, then you're gonna take this seriously. And like I say at the end of every video now, like if you're really serious about it, check out my mentorship program. Link is down below in the description. I've helped many people, not just in the mentorship program, but my coaching, I've literally changed their lives. They've gone from not knowing much to knowing a whole lot and then coming all the way back around and creating the music they've always dreamed of. So if you want, I can help you with that. Link is down below. Feel free to check it out. It's a great way to support this channel. And keep these tutorials going. So as long as you guys are here and you're willing and you're supporting me, I'll support you. That's how we do this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your time, attention, and presence. And get out there and make this music. Embody the state. Feel it. Live it. Become one sound itself, and then share it with all of us, because we all can feel it too. I'll be back again soon with more videos like this one. In the meantime, take good care, you guys. And as always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. I am Chris from Signs of Life. And I'll see you guys in the next video.